start off introducing our first athlete, Mr. Shaun Burke. I can tell you that I am honored to be aligned with this man. He's a decorated war veteran. He is a committed athlete. He is a world champion in everything that he does, Ironman, triathlons. He's a coach. He's helped many people to achieve their dreams and just set goals that they've never thought possible before. So we're going to just hear from Shaun, first of all, tonight, and then he's going to bring on a couple of athletes that he actually trained. So Shaun, go ahead, take it away, my friend. You have the stage.
Can you hear me okay, Gina?
I can. Thank you.
So thanks. So I want to describe my level of athletic performance before Asea and after. Before I got on Asea, which was in 2012, I have been racing triathlon since 1989 and competed in 18 Ironman and a whole lot of international sprint distances. My forte is more of the sprint distance, international distance, but I was getting ready to do my 18th Ironman. And at 52 years old, I thought my career was over. I was living off of Ibuprofen. I was not sleeping well. My performance was just going in the tank. And I didn't even think, I thought my athletic career was over. I didn't think I was going to be able to race anymore. And that was back 8 years ago. I ran across what redox molecules were. I was at a trade show and kind of walked by a booth and saw redox molecules. And I decided that I just put it in a bag and I thought I'll check on it later. And then about 2 weeks later, after still not performing really well in athletic competitions, I started doing research on it. I read Dr. Gary Samuelson's book, and I thought, and then being in the physical therapy field for 30 plus years, the science started making me think about it. So I got on the product, and it took me about 3 weeks before I started noticing difference. And then 6 weeks later is when I did my 18th Ironman, and I went from training 5 hours a week to 21 to 22 hours a week. And then I did my 18th Ironman, and I took 57 minutes off my previous Ironman time, which really blew me away. And then normally I have to wait, 2 weeks before I can start training again. I actually started training 2 weeks later. And then went on that year and raced 9 more races, set 8 course records for my age group, and won all those races. So since being on redox molecules, I've raced 63 times, and I have won 60 of those races and placed second in the other 3 races. So for me, it's been just a game changer and really turned my life around. And now, obviously this year with the virus hitting us, we have not been able to compete. This would have been I would have been competing at 60 years old this year. So I'm really looking forward to this crisis getting over so I can get back into racing and racing in a new age category and setting some new course records.
So Shaun, could you just tell us briefly what happened in that first race that you performed right after you started drinking these molecules?
Well, leading up to the race, it was more that I wasn't getting a good enough sleep. My nutrition wasn't working. I was always in pain. And then once I got on Asea, that started changing. I started sleeping better. I was recovering better. Digestive system was better. And then it went from 5 hours of training a week to 21 hours of training a week. And my confidence and my ability to train at a higher level was just blew me out the door. And again, 6 weeks before getting on Asea, I told my wife, I said, I think my racing career is over. I'm not able to train. So it was 8 years ago. And now I'm actually faster now than I was 8 years ago. I've won more races. I mean, before that, it was about 150 races before that. And I maybe won 3 of those races. So when you go from winning 3 races and 150 races to winning 60 races out of 63 after getting on the product, to me, it's a game changer, and it's really turned my life around.
Absolutely. And I'm sorry, did you say how many minutes you took off that first race after being on Asea?
Well, I took off 57 minutes off my previous time, so that was unbelievable.
57 minutes. And you were how much older?
I was 52 years old at that time.
52 years old. And oh my goodness. Okay.
So that was faster than I was when I was racing in my 30s and 40s.
Incredible. Okay. And I know you've gone on to train a couple of other athletes here tonight with us, Dexter Yates and Christiana. Would you like to introduce these amazing world champions as well?
I think, you know, more than racing, it's helping other people achieve their goals is more powerful than I think, well, I know than it is for me actually racing. So the first person I'm going to introduce is Christy Arbini, and she came to me, I believe, 5 years ago, and came to my gym, and I started talking to her about redox molecules, and she's a very smart individual. She's a triathlete. She's a world champion qualifier. She's won numerous races, finishes in the top 5% of her age group when she races, and she's also a coach. So Christy Arbini, can you tell us about how you were before redox molecules and what's the difference made since being on redox molecules?
Yeah, before I came to Shaun being not using redox molecules, I would definitely say that I had the typical struggles of most athletes with the general fatigue, the little bit of breakdown. I was struggling to maintain overall performance levels and just my muscle. I wasn't able to hang on to a lot of that muscle depletion that was happening. And since I added Asea, which came on board in 2014, I was in my second full distance Ironman race. I was about 4 months out and I got on the product. I started using it. And right away, I started noticing in the first 2 weeks, the improvement in my sleep, my performance. I was able to go from 100-mile bike rides to 20-mile runs the next day and not have that aching pain that I was dealing with. And I just knew that it was helping my general recovery. And I completed that race and ended up 4 hours faster than my original time. So I was definitely a believer after that.
Yeah. So Gina said I took 57 minutes off my time, and you go get on the product and take 4 hours off my time. So off your time. So that's pretty amazing. So one of the other things too, it's Christiane and I have actually raced Christiane and I actually raced a race last year where I was first overall and she was second overall. So she beat all the guys. So she was the first female, and I was lucky to stay just ahead of her. So, but she's coming on fast and furious. So she keeps getting faster, and I just I'm trying to stay one step ahead of her, but I don't know, with these redox molecules, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. So.
That's amazing. And I just want to say, was there an age group in that race that you raced with Christiane, or was that open?
It was all overall. So he won male overall and I won female overall, but I took second place overall even to the men. So I was the second finisher of the entire race.
Wow.
That was a good race.
That's huge.
Yeah,
she was right on my tail. I could see her. So
Shaun was nervous. He was nervous.
Gotta be careful who you train, Shaun.
I know, that's okay. If you get beat by your students, that's okay.
Yeah.
So, Christiane, can you just give a brief how you utilize the product on a daily basis real quick for us?
Yeah, generally daily, I keep a pretty consistent dose. I will probably dose about 3 to 4 times a day with the typical, I'll do about 8 ounces. I believe athletes need a little bit more. We obviously take a little bit more breakdown. Our cellular structure, we definitely put it to the test. So I end up increasing my amount. When I'm actually in race season, and in general right now, I'm just in a high volume. So I will add 8 ounces pre-workout and post-workout. So I'll typically be doing 3 times a day, just the general morning, afternoon, and definitely, right before going to bed. But then right before my workouts and right after, I'll add a dose as well.
So how many ounces total do you think?
What's the quick math on that one?
8, 12, not.
She's probably 24 to 32 ounces a day.
Wow.
24. Yeah.
Plus a tube of Renew a day.
Yeah. And we have noticed, obviously through, a tube. We're blowing through tubes of Renew, I can tell you that. Definitely one of the things we've noticed in testing theories, I guess me and Shaun, I feel, have done a lot of our own self-testing, but we've increased the overall amount throughout the season, just being able to see like how much more, is our body really utilizing and how much is it helping us adapt to the overall high level of volume of training. And the Asea groups, we do that pre-race, which basically helps bring the blood flow right to the surface of the skin, which allows the muscles to basically be kind of warmed up and ready to take on the actual event. Because once you get started, it's a peak of adrenaline. And then, you want to be able to keep that overall blood flow going.
Okay, so we'll move on to our next person who's, I think she's a movie star. Everybody knows her. I've been in rooms where everybody says, introduce me, and everybody kind of claps, and then they introduce Dexter and the walls go crazy and people go crazy. But Dexter Yates has been on the product for 5 years. She came to my facility about 5 years ago at 70 years old, and she was overweight and she wanted to do her first Ironman. And so I was like, okay. And little did I know that she is a determined female athlete who just needed a boost, and that the boost was the redox molecules. So I got her on the redox molecules and then worked with her on some training. But Dexter Yates is a world champion, Ironman champion, half Ironman. She's qualified for the world championships for the last 4 years in Kona, Hawaii. And actually, Christy and Dexter are going to race next month down in Cosmo at a full Ironman. And I'm going to let Dexter talk, but she just ran a marathon, 26.2 miles yesterday on a treadmill. That's 75 years old. Here you go, Dexter.
Yeah, that was a first for me. Treadmill is just, they're a great tool to use, but staying in one place and running for 26.2 miles is a real challenge, mentally more than anything. My Asea story, like Shaun said, I came into his gym and, I've got this snow white hair, the whole bit. And he's going, oh, yeah, right. You want to do an Ironman? Sure, lady. And so, he kind of got me started and said, well, I try this product. And I had not been able to finish an Ironman race a couple weeks before I went into him, and just was totally frustrated and thought, okay, this is it. As Shaun said, you kind of get to that point in your life where you think, I'm not able to do this. And I said, sure, I'll try anything at this point, and got on Asea. And that was about in June or July. And I started feeling much better. My recovery was the biggest thing that I noticed, is that I was able to do the training necessary, the long bike rides followed by long runs with long swims mixed in with it daily. And I still do need a day off, but able to get in there and do it and repeat and repeat. And I signed up for another Ironman race, which was at altitude in Boulder, Colorado. And that was in August, and went there and not only finished the race, but won my age group and qualified to go to the World Championship in Kona, Hawaii, which was just a thrill for me to be able to do that. Since then, I think I've almost lost count, but I have qualified for the World Championship in Kona for 8 different times. I've qualified for the half Ironman championship several times also. And 2 years ago, in 2018, I went to South Africa and competed with the best in the world. There were several in my age group, and literally from all over the world. And to win the World Championship with that type of competition halfway around the world was just a thrill that I'll never forget, to actually become a world champion at my age. This year, I was really looking forward to having a exciting year of racing. I had 4 different full Ironmans on my schedule, which all of them were canceled with the exception of the Cozumel race next month. And this will be my first race in the new age group of 75 to 79. And I'm really excited to be putting my toe on the line and getting out there and racing. This Asea has been just the best thing that's ever happened for me. My health has been so much better. I noticed the recovery was huge at first. After being on it for a couple of years and looking back, I realized, my health has been better. I used to get colds 2 or 3, 4 times a year and just be down flat without being able to do anything. And it's really, my health is just knock on wood, but the sickness has just been, a history. I haven't been bothered by it as I used to be. Like we said in the beginning, yesterday I did a 26.2 mile run on the treadmill, which was pretty abusive to my body, and some Renew 28, literally practically bathed in it. But the muscle soreness is history, and I'm ready to go again tomorrow. So that's the best testimony I can give for the product.
I'd just like to point out that Dexter was, in my opinion, picked to win the Kona, Hawaii Ironman World Championships this year. She was going to be the youngest person in the 75 to 79. And my money was on her. She was training, or she's still training, but I think we would have had a second world champion Ironman full distance from Dexter Yates if Kona, Hawaii was still on.
Yeah, that was supposed to be this weekend. That was the kind of the inspiration for my marathon yesterday, was that was the weekend that I was supposed to be in Hawaii and towing the line with the best in the world. So it's kind of sad to not be there, but I did the run.
So Dexter, everybody's going to real quick. Can you just tell us what your regimen is for where you take the Asea, the liquid,
Sure.
and also the Renew real quick?
Yes, I use my day starts out every morning with an 8-ounce, one of these pouches. And I take one right before I work out and after a long workout, and then in the afternoon or the evening as the day goes on, if I feel like, I could still use a little more. So, again, it's probably the minimum I take in a day is 16 ounces up to maybe as many as 30 in a day. The Renew 28 after every workout. And then, sometimes in the morning when I get up, if there's just a little, maybe I slept a little off or something, I'll use it then. I shower always. And then, of course, I use the facial products because, I've been in the skin for 75 years and it can use all the help it can get. Also, the vitamin supplements, I use those every morning. And of course, the ones in the morning and the ones in the evening as well. So I am using all of the products and getting all of the benefits too.
Perfect. There's a couple, maybe Christiane, real quick. Can you just go over you have a background in nutrition, you understand nutrition. So the Asea Via product line that we have, can you spend maybe a minute or so on why you think it's really good for athletes to be using the vitamins that the company has produced?
Sure. I think one of the top things about understanding a little bit about supplement companies is testing. Knowing what's actually in the product. A lot of supplement companies utilize a lot of fillers, and they don't actually go to extensive length of testing to ensure that the supplements that you're actually taking are being absorbed into the system and appropriately working. And so one of the things about Asea, the VIA line, is that that's exactly what they do, is that they do the extensive third-party testing to ensure that what you're taking is allowing for full absorption. So, you know, as an athlete, and one of the things that a lot of people don't understand is that our nutrition base has changed dramatically over the last few decades, obviously through the way there's been farming, the way that there's been pesticides sprayed on everything. So a lot of the stuff that we're getting in the store is lacking a third of the vitamins and nutrients it used to, over a decade ago. So our current, apple does not have the same nutrition value as the one in the past. So there's a depletion because of the vitamins and minerals to it. So what we want to make sure is that as an athlete, we're able to get we just not even an athlete, everybody needs to get better absorption in general. And obviously through the VIA line, it's assisting in allowing to open the body up to get that absorption through using Asea, bring all of that, as well as making sure that your overall general nutrition is supplementing that, because your overall health is extremely important, not just by the supplements you take, it's in your overall health and the food choices you make.
Great. And then Gina, if you have any other questions, but I want to point out just one quick thing. They just posted on my blog on Asea, on the Asea website, or Asea Global, a blog that I just wrote about, I don't know, a month ago. So people can go to utilize that. It talks about how I use the product and it gives it detailed. So utilize that. It just came out on Friday. So that's why I'm not talking as much, because you guys can just go there and utilize that for a tool. But Gina, do you have any questions before you introduce our star from Australia?
Yeah, so thank you so much for pointing us to your blog, and yeah, really, really great information. Thank you, Christian. That was phenomenal. It's what, like they say, it's not about what we eat, it's about what we absorb. And you're absolutely right. I love the fact that, of course, all of Asea's nutritional products are based on whole food, but it's really not even about the whole food anymore.
Absolutely.
It's about that what we call secret sauce in there, right? That makes it 100% bioavailable. That's the key today. And I'm so grateful that we have it. So for more information on that, you can go to aseavia.com, just ASEAVIA.com. And you can see all of our nutritional lines. And then you can get back to the person who invited you to join us tonight and get more information if you'd like to try our supplements with the redox. That's really the materials that work with the labor to put it all together. So thank you for commenting on that.
Gina, I want to say just one more quick thing. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
Everybody's going to ask for tools. The company just came out with a great video. It's only a minute long on using Renew 28, and they also came out with a flyer. Probably the most professional thing I've ever seen. It's right to the point. So I encourage everybody to go to your back office, look at that under flyers, under Renew, and also a video. It's awesome. And it's so
Shaun, do you want to play that 1 minute video? I know it's just 1 minute. Do you want to show the Renew video?
Yeah, Veronica's there. She can jump it on. You guys can see it.
If she can put it on, I'd love it. It's only 1 minute, and I think it does a great job of displaying how you guys use the Renew. Like you said, the video is explaining where you're putting it, how you're using it.
Yeah,
great,
let the tools do the work.
Absolutely, let the tools do the work. If she can play that real quick, and then we're going to bring on our final speaker tonight.
The biggest speaker, 5-time world champion.
Yes, from down under.
Down under. Dexter, is Veronica? Is she there? Okay, Veronica's bringing it up right now.
Yeah,
okay.
Give me a minute.
We can race, but we can't do technology, so.
All right, here we go. Okay, we're going to watch this 1 minute video. Do we have sound? Awesome. I love that. You know, our Renew 28 is no longer just a facial skincare product, is it? It's an all over revitalizing gel that is absolutely bringing about new skin from head to toe and really helping our athletes to perform at higher levels.
What it really points out is the way Christiane and myself and Dexter, and I'm sure from down under uses it too, but utilizing the product on key areas on your body before a race has been a game changer for all of us. So that's why I like it.
John, do you want to comment real quick on those key areas? Where do you use it? What parts of your body before a race?
Go ahead, Christiane.
So yeah, and I'll add one more to that, but, so definitely some of the key areas is obviously, right behind the neck, kind of in the back is the central nervous system. So that's a good place to place it. We'll do the lats, which is a large part of the body. And then we'll do it all across the quads. I actually will do my calves as well. So any of the main large muscle groups, to help bring that overall blood flow is really beneficial, especially pre-race, pre-activity. And then obviously we do it post, which is going to help with overall muscle recovery after. And one of the other things I wanted to add to that is I myself have found an impeccable transition from using the Renew. And it was a few years ago when I had a really bad bike wreck and I lost basically an entire section off of my shin. And you can look for the photos if you head to my my Facebook link. They're there. You'll find them eventually. But it's basically showing the start and finish and what 1 week it did to help heal and close the wound that I was 1 week out from a 70.3 race that I wasn't sure I was going to be able to compete because of the concern for infection, because of how bad the actual injury was to my shin and my leg and all over my forearm. So we ended up in 1 week's time, I used that and it closed up the wound enough that I was able to race without any concern of that. And I have minimal scarring from the accident. And I mean, now there's no other product that would have ever done what Asea Renew 28 did. So don't forget that.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Christiane.
Someone just chatted. Did you win that race afterwards? And the answer is yes, she did.
Yes. I got my slot to South Africa at that race and I joined Dexter. So I was down in South Africa as well. I got it at that race. Yeah.
All right. You athletes are amazing. You're amazing. All right. Without further ado, we're going to bring on Lorene Bevaart from Down Under. Beautiful mother of two from Melbourne, Australia. This woman is a 5-time world champion black belt karate master. She's also been a personal trainer for Russell Crowe. Ooh, oh my gosh. And just many other things that I too much to share here tonight, but we are so honored to have her with us. She's amazing. I believe she's a coach as well. So Lorraine, can you share with us your Asea story?
Oh my good, how do I follow these three legends? Amazing stories. But I do want to share a story because I loved it about Christiane, how she beat the boys. So obviously I wish I had this when I was competing. Can I just say that? But I'm still a very hardcore recreational person who loves to keep fit. And I still have that little bit of competitive edge. So I do train at this local gym before lockdown. And the average age is probably between 45 to 55 around there. And we have these ergo machines, which is a rower. It's a stationary rower. There's 6 of them. And we're doing this interval set. And I happened to grab one of these rowers. I was the first one, and there's 5 men, range between 45 to 55. And the whole drill was we had to do so many meters in a certain time, run 50 meters, come back. We had first one finished. We had to do 10 of them. They were all a bit competitive. They've looked at me and I've looked at them. Anyway, well, off we go. Anyway, I'm probably at the start. I'm at the end, right? I'm the last one out the door. And then the next set, 2, then 3. And then it gets closer to number 5. And I'm thinking the whole time, it's okay, Lorraine, I've got the Asea. I know this is going to kick in anytime soon. And then set number 5 comes. I'm coming to the front. Number 6, and I'm at the front, right? 8, 9, 10. And those guys were trying so hard to beat me. But I just knew I just let it do its work because the endurance is there, the recovery is there, the cell signaling is there. I just know that it does so much for me, and that I can back up my training sessions again the next day and the next day. I don't measure it. I don't have times and so forth, but I do compare it to how I feel. I compare it to how many sessions I can do, how I can back it up, and the way I feel. I feel better now than before I started Asea, which was back in 2014. I feel younger. I feel more alert. I don't get that muscle soreness, a little bit occasionally now and then, but nowhere near like I would have before I would have taken it. And like I said, I back it up. I do training sessions every day, whether that's a typical week for me would be, I love doing spin classes on a bike, right? They're about an hour, okay? They're not on the road, but it's still very challenging. I do my weight trainings. I do my walks. I do all these different things every day, and I just sip out my Asea throughout the day. But I do use the Renew. The Renew's a winner. I know that. I just wish that the company would make the big pump packs, because the amount of times that I'm cutting those tubes in half to get the last bit out, it just goes too quick. I want the big packs. Come on, I'm sure, Shaun, you've got enough pull in the company now that you can beg for one of those. It'd be amazing.
Awesome, Mossy. Oh my gosh, that's wonderful.
A question on as far as how it is with drug testing, because a lot of people are saying athletes can't get it. So I don't know.
Yes, I did see that. Could you comment on that?
So I can tell you this product is actually used at the Olympic level. So Olympic athletes like Brie Larson is tested. I think she told us one time we were on a panel, she's tested like 220 times a year, and has taken the product since 2009, never tested positive. As Lorraine said, it's native to the body. And when that's native to the body, there is no side effects to it whatsoever. So it's been approved by the Olympic Committee. As far as when Olympic athletes, they have to list everything that they take, and Olympic athletes will list that as Asea. And so the Olympic Committee is very aware of the product and that other athletes are taking it.
And I just say something here. One of the things that I like about the testing is the ingredients right here on the label. And it's just water, sodium chloride. I mean, there's nothing there that you have to worry about to being tested. It's pure, native to the body. And so it's nothing that you ever have to worry about to being tested.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
That's a really good point too. Like, I know that all the athletes get tested very, very regularly, but the Olympic athletes too, Brie Larson and Cody, their testing regime is insane. So, and they're ambassadors for Asea. They use it regularly. So, and they get tested often, and they just get amazing results by being on it too.
Absolutely. Yeah, these are native molecules. So just recreating what the body's making outside the body and re-entering it into the body in abundance and in balance, right? So it doesn't get any better than that. Couldn't test it. Well, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here with all of you tonight, just to hear these stories. Does anyone have any final closing comments? I know we've gone quite a bit longer, but you know, we don't get to gather like this very often, especially with all of you elite world-class athletes in the house. So, you know, I don't mind going a little longer. If we're recording, if people have to go, this will be posted on our Facebook site, Asea United. And yes, we are recording. I know some people were asking. So does anybody have just any final closing comments before we say goodnight?
There is a
Good morning
question
to
about
you.
a question at Shaun's blog. Where can you find Shaun's blog? Is that aseaglobal.com?
Oh, yeah.
You can aseaglobal.com. It just came out on Friday, so everybody can go there, and then it'll be really good. You guys can utilize that technology. I write out how I use the product and what time of the day and all that stuff too. So I'm pretty happy to be with someone from Australia. Look at the view in your background. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, is it daytime there? What time is it there?
Yeah.
Midday.
Midday. Beautiful. Yeah.
You don't want to be in Melbourne right now. We're in lockdown. So,
Oh.
yeah, it's not too good at the moment. But that's okay. Hopefully we'll make it a safer place. You know.
Go ahead, Dexter. I think you wanted to say something, Dexter.
Oh, I just wanted to say that I'm looking forward to seeing Christy Ann in Cozumel in a couple of weeks to do our one race this year. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
Shaun. Let's
Well, you too.
rock that Asea label out there on the course and show them what we're made of.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I'm so excited. It's been a long, long season of training for nothing yet.
One race.
Yeah. I did want to leave one final thought in closing. I think a really big reminder to everyone is obviously the impact that Asea has right now, especially globally. Everything right now is focused on immunity. And I think if we use that as a positive reminder of people of how important your general health is and your overall immune system, like what are the things that are absolutely necessary? And it's turning to things that allow your body as a natural healer. And so we need to be able to give it the ingredients that it needs to continue to keep working those building blocks. And, you know, we already have a lot of things working against us sometimes throughout the nutrition and the food system, but whatever we can do to try and bring to light other people about, you know, what Asea does to impact lives, not only just physically, the immune system, but obviously for those that have had massive financial change. And think about right now in a time when there's, you know, just this global issue and everybody's feeling a little unstable. So, you know, just send some positive reminders out there to people that this exists and let's keep sharing it.
And then I'll finish two things real quick is Lorraine hit this, is that, you know, staying active is going to help with the depression. We're all in lockdown and stuff. So I really encourage people to get on the product and get active, even if it is, you know, my wife and I are walking more miles now than we ever had since we've been married, because we're going for walks. And I think it's important for the depression part of it. You know, we can easily get tied up in that, is, you know, getting out and going for a walk, enjoying the outdoors, enjoying, you know, your people. That's really important so that we stay out of that depression stage, which will affect our immune system. And then also, Gina, I want to thank you so much for putting this on. You are inspiration.
Aw.
My wife and I love you to death. So thanks for everything you've done in our life.
Thank you, Shaun. Feelings are mutual. Feelings are mutual. I love you all. You are all my Asea family, all of you. I love you all. And I'm so honored, like I said, to be here. I truly mean that. I mean, I feel like I'm among celebrities, but I feel like you're all so family. You know, we're all so close. That's what I love about Asea, is that the bonds and the relationships, right, that we have with people that we may have never met before. I mean, look at this. I got my sister down there, and well, I call her my sister. She's my single mom, you know, sister in you know, just like-mindedness, that down all the way in Australia. I would have never got to meet her. And Shaun, I would have never been able to meet you and your lovely wife, Veronica, and Dexter and Christiane, and just all of you. So, and you inspire me, even though I'm just a weekend warrior. I got to tell you guys, you know, I'm 59. All right. I'm just 1 year from that number. Ooh, we don't want to hit that number. But I got to tell you, I've been on these molecules for 8 years, and I feel, like you guys were saying, I feel 8 years younger, and yet I'm 8 years older. I can't even imagine what I would look like, Lorene, without these. Oh my gosh, you know. And so, yeah, never want to live a day without these molecules in my body and on the outside of my body as well, internally and externally. Redox is the key to life, the key to anti-aging, and the key to increasing athletic performance and recovery for all of us as we move forward. And, you know, Shaun, you brought up a great point. They do, you know, they're small enough to permeate the blood barrier in the brain, and it really does help us with, you know, just kind of correcting some of that brain chemistry right now that we can easily get in balance. So love, love, love my molecules. And I love these pouches. So
Yes.
We can drink to our good health, everybody. All right, we'll toast off on that note tonight. Thank you so much for being here with us, everybody. Really, really appreciate you and all your wisdom. So we'll see you on the Asea Highway, and take care and be well.
Thanks for
Stay safe out there. All right. Thanks, everybody.